tell you what, these 3 or 4 episodes of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, if there's nothing more that I like besides the love stories, and I'd say with the love story going on with Ravi and Roxy was just excellent. Also, before I begin today's episode, I do want to send a quick shout out to Jason Bischoff. He was the brand ambassador for Hasbro when I saw it on Reddit, and due to some things moved around in Hasbro, he has been let go by Hasbro. And I want to say thank you, Jason, for the work you've done for Power Rangers for the 3 years you were there. And thank you for making Power Rangers exciting for fans. And thank you for making Beast Morphers good for 3 or 4 episodes. And hopefully Hasbro can keep going. So, with that being said, let's get into today's Beast Morphers review. Hello, Internet. It's Andrew Michael, and welcome to Power Rangers Beast Morphers Episode 4, the review. So, if you're new to this, basically what I do is I talk about the show or the episode that's happened, and I give my reaction and my notes that I've taken, and I show you what I saw, and kind of think about what I've seen, and give my rating at the end. Also, one more thing. Now, last week it was mentioned that I didn't use pictures in my videos, and that is because Hasbro has been cracking down on people using pictures or videos in their videos, and of course YouTube's copyright system is broken, and so if you try to use anything copyrighted, then YouTube will take your video down, and so what I'm going to have to do is just go without pictures and all that. And I know it would make these videos so much better if I did it, but for some reason I can't do it, because if I did, then I get copyrighted. So we're just going without them. And with that being said, let's get into today's review. Alright, so we start off episode 4 with Ben and Betty giving Valentine's Day gifts. And they go around and they, give gifts to everyone in the office, and they go around doing all that. But then they get chased away, of course, by a bee, because as we all know, bees are attracted to flowers. And so Ben and Betty then get chased off to do their thing. And then Ravi goes and visits Roxy in the incubator, because if you didn't know, the good Roxy was trapped in an incubator because her avatar is running around doing evil things. And so Ravi then basically remembers the time when him and Roxy were dating, and they met and they had that little picture done where they said Happy Valentine's Day, and it was their 1-year anniversary of that. And then we go straight to in the cyber dimension when the avatar Roxy plans to manipulate Ravi into coming into the dimension and or turning him into an avatar. And her whole plan is that since Roxy remembers her feelings, she remembers her memories, but she doesn't have all the feelings based off what she said. And so she comes up with this idea of trying to get Ravi to have an avatar, which for some reason was a little deceptive, because really, it's deceptive of course, but at the same time, if their whole mission is to get Morph-X, why would they then try to trick Ravi into being an avatar? Describe it. It's where you have 3 people ganging up on the other 2, so that's one more person the evil people would have that the good guys would not have, and so obviously you didn't want that to happen. And so then it's Devon, Zoey, and Ravi meeting up at a table, talking to each other. And Devon makes some cookies, but no one wants them because, they didn't want any. So it was just sad. And then they get a notification that there is a monster in the city, and Nate is even going through the city getting some flowers. And I wonder what those flowers could be. So then we see the monster that Roxy creates when she sticks the Morph-X into a excavator. And I just call him an excavator monster. Or actually, in my notes, I called him an excavator. I don't know why I did that, because I never could get the name of it. And so the 3 Rangers go, morph up, beat up all the Tronics, and then when Ravi goes to take on the excavator, Roxy then trips him up. And then Roxy tells the monster to stop, and then she just does her little boop, 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 and then disappears. And so it was weird, because Ravi thought that was, for some reason, the avatar Roxy. I mean, he knew it was the avatar, but at the same time, he was like, for some reason, he didn't understand, I guess. And so then, obviously, we do get that huge sense of dramatical irony in this. And I did make sure I looked at dramatical irony, because you know how it feels like when you know something that the people in the show don't know? Like, the whole entire time, we all knew Roxy's plan was to do that, but for some reason, we kept wondering why Ravi didn't understand why the avatar Roxy would, for some reason, have the same feelings as the real Roxy. Because even with robots, we know robots and the internet doesn't have feelings. YouTube's algorithm has no feelings because it's a program. Programs don't have feelings. And so we then get back from the first break, which is about 10 minutes, so not a bad break. We got like 2 breaks in this one, honestly, and it's not that bad. Then we come back, and Roxy stops the villain, and Ravi, of course, thinks the evil Roxy is remembering slash, feeling about the good times. Like, she even talks about the time where Ravi was training, and he hurt himself, and Roxy had to carry him to his car, so that was a little touch. And, of course, Roxy comes and gives Ravi the fake little rose that when Roxy disappears, and basically what she does is she tells Ravi to get the neural aligner, and for some reason, I think what it was supposed to do was, like, I don't know what they could use it for unless they could make the Evox, maybe make him an avatar, make him go sending back and forth to places, but really, I don't know what they're going to use that for, but obviously Roxy convinces Ravi of getting the neural aligner because it'll turn her back to normal. So, of course, Ravi goes to the Grid Battle Force and steals it, and then, of course, when Ravi gives her the neural aligner, guess who comes to stop Ravi from doing anything? The Excavator traps him in his arms, and Roxy says, "You'll be with me, but in order for you to be with me, you have to turn into an avatar." And so she then puts the neural aligner on top of him, and she loads in the virus. So I wonder what could happen. And so we go to our second break. So of course we get that thing where it's like a soap opera where you're watching something and then something dramatic happens and we go to a break. But of course, if they did that, then we would have seen a blue avatar at Go Busters, but we never saw it. So we knew that there wasn't going to be an evil Ravi. And so we come back and Devon and Zoey zap the neural aligner from getting to Ravi. And so Ravi then falls down and basically is confronted by Devon and Zoey, and Ravi says, "I'm sorry, I thought that was the real Roxy." And Devon and Zoey both tell him, "It's okay. We know you thought it was the real Roxy, but we're here to save you." So the Rangers then morph up and beat up all the Tronics, and not only do they take on the big Excavator, but they also take on the regular Excavator. And so the Red Ranger goes and beats up the big Excavator and beats him up. And the Blue and Yellow Ranger then take and beat up the real Excavator. And so, what happens to Roxy is she booms out of there and she's gone for the episode. And then we get back to Grid Battle Force after the battle with Excavator. And then we find out that Nate has a crush on Zoey. And if he wants to go anywhere else, he's going to have a buddy to go with him. So, what this means for Nate and the buddy, we don't know. Or what if Nate and the buddy, maybe the buddy could be another ranger. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but that seems very, very interesting. And so Nate even bought Zoey a truckload of flowers, the same flowers he was getting at the very beginning of the episode when the first time we saw the Excavator in the whole episode. So, of course, we can't end the episode without some good comical relief. So Ben and Buddy, I don't know why I said Ben and Buddy. Ben and Betty go and try to trap that one bee with a huge little sheet of honey. And instead of there just being one bee, there was 2 of them. And both Ben and Buddy both got stung in the nose by the bees. And of course, we got a little bit of the comic relief to end the episode. And that's the end of the episode, 30 minutes in. And I will say this, that love angle with Ravi and Roxy is amazing. Like, it is something I didn't think we were going to get this early in the season. Like, I knew they were going to do some form of episode with it. The fact that they did it for episode 4 was like, I expected them to go further on, like episode 30 or 40, where they try to use Ravi and try to get him to go to evil, but they didn't do it. And so it was very interesting. And plus, too, like, we're almost in April. And the fact they're doing Valentine's Day is a little odd. But at the same time, they had to do it eventually. So I guess it makes sense that they had to do it now. So that makes sense. So what do I think about this episode? Well, This episode was full of love, but not to the extent of where it was all like, like I understood like what they were doing, and the whole Nate getting Zoe flowers and the whole Ravi getting Roxy flowers or something like that. Like, I would have liked it if they did like past episodes where the love, like, there was a monster that was a love thing, and they would make the couples, you know, fall to dust or do something evil like that. But they didn't do it. They just made an actual monster and went with it. But other than that, it went bad. So I think if I can agree, I think Liana Ramirez, her acting skills were more showcased in this episode, obviously. And Liana Ramirez obviously is Roxy. We didn't see the X bikes this episode. We didn't see those bikes that they showed last episode. And we didn't really see Roxy and Blaze going and getting some more Morph-X. They just got the neural aligner, which I don't understand why they would need to get a neural aligner and not get some more Morph-X to free Evox. So that was a little questionable a little bit, but at the same time, I could see this literally being the exact same score I gave episode 3, which is a 3.8. But when I see this episode being better than the last one, I could say, in a way I could say yes, because this episode had more of a character development with Ravi and Roxy, because it showed that Ravi still had feelings for Roxy, even though he was the one to break up with Roxy. And so I feel like with that, love is such a powerful thing to use in movies and television. And I feel like with Nate having a crush on Zoe, we might see more of that. So I'm really excited to see what happens with episode 5. And had we not had the Kids' Choice Awards last year, not last year, what am I doing? From last week, I think we are getting more anticipation with episode 5 than if we did with episode 3 leading into episode 4, because we didn't know what we were going to get. So I feel like this advances the storyline a little bit, whereas episode 3 I don't think did that. So if I had to rank the episodes from worst to best, episode 1 being the best episode we've gotten so far, hands down, episode 1, still the best episode we had. Episode 2, I feel like episode 2, yeah, did a little bit of character development, a little bit showing like the fears and everything, but we really didn't see much of that with episode 3. I mean, we got a hint of it in episode 4, but I feel like episode 1 is the best. Second place, episode 4. I think episode 4 is really strong and everything in terms of the Valentine's Day thing and in terms of advancing the Ravi and Roxy relationship and advancing the Nate and now having a buddy and a side and Nate having a crush on Zoe. Then if I had to choose between episode 3 and episode 2, I feel like we got more like the Beast Bots and everything, and I think episode 3 was more of a thing like that. Now that I really think about it, I think episode 2 did more for the actual season overall rather than episode 3, because I think episode 3 might have kind of acted like a one-off, I guess. So in a way, yeah, I could see episode 2 being better. So that's my thing. And I'm going to give episode 4 a 3.9 out of 5. I would give it a 4 out of 5, but it did what it needed to do. It did advance the whole thing with Ravi and Roxy, but nothing, like, we won't see that until we get to episode 5 or 6 or down the road. So we'll see how Power Rangers goes from here. And if you like these types of episode reviews, make sure you leave a like. And also, hopefully Hasbro won't be taking down more videos for having photos and videos in them. So that way I can put photos in these reviews to make it make more sense to people who don't watch Power Rangers on the regular. So if you haven't seen any of the clips or anything, they are on the Power Rangers official YouTube channel. There are a couple of clips, there's 4 clips now, and they really make sense if you didn't watch the episode. So if you want to go watch those clips, you can. And until next time, I'm Major Michael, and I'll see you guys next time. Go, go, Power Rangers.